12.2, we seek permission to adopt a resolution to deny the charter school application of the Life Male STEAM Academy Charter School and to adopt an adjudication detailing the basis for that action.
Any questions on that?
Just a couple comments. So I was able to talk to Dr. Kennedy. And it seems like, I think they did a really good presentation. I understand the way they're thinking, and obviously, and I agree with this, there is a need that needs to be serviced. What I didn't understand is that my message, I thought, was that they were promoting just a black male school, and that's not necessarily what they were implementing. It was just a male school with a segment of concentrating on that need. And I feel like after this very long conversation, you know, they had tons of research, there's tons of people backing them. They're going to get that building, and if we fight this on the front end, I think that, you know, they're probably going to most likely come in and win this charter. And instead of us, and I know how you feel, Mike, I don't disagree with you, we're $22 million that goes out the door with this. But here's the issue. We have to service our children, and not all education looks the same for every child. So certain families want options, and that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with competition, in my opinion, because my answer to that is, well, we do it better. So I don't necessarily completely, I'm with you, Mike, I don't like charter schools, but I think in this case, because this is so far along and so far developed, if we tell them no, they're not going to want to work with us. It's just like they're closing the door, and we could be missing an opportunity for a partnership. We could, at least if we know they're going to come in here, and let's be honest, because we fought Propel and they're still here, at least if there's some kind of way to cap them, maybe with our student population, or have some other kind of conversation, I think that would be beneficial. But, you know, I don't know what you guys are thinking.
Well, I would say their opportunity to partnership with us is right now, prior to establishing a charter school. We have an open policy that if you feel like there's a undeserved need within our district and you feel like you have a method or process in which you can do better, then we embrace and accept those ideas. Because maybe you thought of something we haven't thought of yet. So you're more than welcome to come in and put on a program within our facilities to help with any, whether if it's gifted or whether if it's minority students or whether if it's low special needs students, whatever it may be, you have the opportunity to come in partnership with us now. You don't have to, we don't have to be different, or we don't have to have a totally new program outside the district. We're more than willing to sit with any individual and say, hey, let's incorporate this within our current district and let's work together to do so. That door is open.
Yeah, but you're missing the point of, yeah, I agree with you, but the fact of the matter is, most likely, based off our statistics, we're failing. And that's what they're going to use to present to the state, and most likely, the state's probably going to grant them that permission. So with that, if they come in here and we're telling them no off the top, they're not going to want to work with us, and there we go. And then we have no kind of relationship at that point to work anything out.
We're failing under past leadership.
But the fact of the matter,
whole
we're
district
still
is
failing
reworked.
right now. We're still failing, David. It's not, and I know our current administration is trying. They just got here. We're trying to make strides, but we are still failing.
So then here's what you're leaving up risk. You're leaving a new idea that hasn't been tested with
They have-
educators who is unaware of our student demographics, geography, how our boroughs are set up, and you're saying, oh, these individuals who don't know our students the way we know our students can do better than what we're trying to put in place.
But see, that's where,
That's just more or less, you're
David,
not even sure.
no, they are sure. They presented research, and if you actually would have looked at some of the bigger materials, there's lots of packets where they're not just coming in here, waking up yesterday and presenting the material. They've done tons of research. There are big people backing them, just.
That doesn't bother me.
Fine, but my whole
Okay,
point
who's
is,
backing who?
my whole point is at least to protect us from our tax base. We live here, okay? That's our tax money going out the door.
We protect our tax base by being a better district. We protect our tax
Yes.
base by making sure that we challenge our students and have better expectations for our staff, our administration, and be tough on accountability and making students accountable, making teachers accountable, making administrators accountable, and continuing with the vision in which we have for our
But
district.
how long is that going to take,
It's going
David?
to take as long as it needs to take.
But you can't risk the safety and the
How
future
long
of
is it going
our
to take
kids.
them to implement their plan?
Well, it
They're-
seems
they're
like
not
they're
gonna be
moving
perfect
along.
As soon
They're
as their
moving
doors
along.
open,
Well,
they're going to have challenges too.
Yeah, they are.
Don't talk over each other, please.
You're right.
Let's just.
We're cool. He's
I-
good.
no, no, I- but I want to make sure everybody can hear what you're saying, because I think you're making good points, so you just.
Yeah, I mean,
My point, though, I'm just saying from our standpoint, from our money, I know we can't afford it. We're hurting for money. But I think in order to be progressive, at least on the forefront, to try to work something out with them so they're not just going to come in and crush us, because most likely, they're probably going to get this charter. And then what? And then we're not going to, then it's over. And we
Well-
look like the bad guy, and here we go, here's, there's a bunch more of our students out the door.
I'm with you. I don't mind competition. I think some of the issues with our district is there's too many people who've been complacent in how we used to do business. So for there to be competition, then maybe that'll put a spark up under us and say, we need to do better. And our kids deserve us to be better. So I have no issue with that. Philosophically, I have no issue with that charter school philosophically, because I understand the need. My educational experience will probably mimic some of those things that they're trying to fill the gaps on. However, the door's open. They can come, we can do programming, we have space, we have more than enough space. We have empty buildings that they could come and set up a program within our district, and we can work together to fulfill those needs.
Well, I think we need to have some more conversations about this, because I fear, again, if we're going to tell them no, they're going to go ahead with this appeal process, and if we lose, then we're really hurt. That's just my point. So I think, I don't know, we need to think about this a bit more.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyone else have comments on this?
I mean, I'm not philosophically opposed to charter schools. I have issues with the way the charter school laws are written, but I mean, my biggest problem is that this is taxpayer dollars that's being used for a school that's going to exclude 50% of our population.
What do you mean? Exclude who?
Women,
Male? Okay.
right? If the idea is to get more women in STEM too, and minority women in STEM, which is a big population of our school district, they're excluded from being part of it. And so I can't support
Well,
it just based on that.
do you agree that there is an issue, we'll take specifically with our male population, the highest underserved portion that right now that we currently have the most issues with? So
But I think that reflects the country. I think that statistic is across the country. That is not school district specific.
We can't control the country. We can do our best to control it.
control here.
Understood.
Yeah. So.
Right. So with that, Paige, I think, thinking progressively, if we have a chance to work in partnership with them, and again, some sort of cap, some sort of something, because we in my opinion, we're not serving that particular population. You know where they go? They go to Rankin.
Not no more.
Well, there's still a Rankin program. So I think, if they've laid a lot of things out, that seemed, and it's not like they woke up yesterday and just made up a bunch of stuff. This is heavy research, pages and pages of educators and just people from all over the country at this point who are supporting this effort. And I do believe it's going to be bigger than just a school. There's some other plans with development, with commercial property, and it goes on and on. But nevertheless, the point is we still have an issue that I think that we could use some support and help with. So again, even if we fight them on the forefront here, we're telling them no, there's still a chance they're going to come in here and do what they want anyway. And then what's going to happen then?
Then we just got competition.
My biggest problem, I suppose, with this entire charter school application is I still have not been convinced or proven one way or the other if this is legal, just within Pennsylvania education laws, because it's a public school. And they did cite there's a charter school that is single gendered in the Philadelphia area, I believe, and maybe if they, if we deny it and they challenged it, that citation would be enough to win, because I do believe that they're going to challenge it, and just on the principle of the school alone, I believe they would win their appeal. But I just, no one's really provided evidence one way or the other of if this battle is even worth having at this point.
See, and that's where I'll agree with
It's a
you.
huge problem for me.
Because
in addition to the fact that
I even think the Philadelphia charter school that does do men, they have a corresponding female school. So that way, it's not really,
I'm not sure that they do.
yeah, I think this was just right across campus or something, if I'm not mistaken. But I may be mistaken.
Regardless. Well, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just making too many assumptions, but I just can't imagine that if this particular type of school, being single gender, were permissible under state law, there would be a lot more of them. But again, I could just be, I would imagine. But the point you bring up about taxpayer dollars and cutting out half of our student population, like I see that as a positive thing. I do. Let me rephrase that. I see paying special attention or extra attention to our male students who are in particular need. I see that as positive. But on the other hand, yeah, that is at the expense of our female students who could also benefit. So I don't know.
Okay.
All that is to say, I don't know. But I'm curious about the legality.
So maybe we should have some more conversations then.
We have to vote by
We
this
have to vote
month.
next week.
No, we still have time.
Don't we?
I mean, there's
Yeah.
a couple days left.
What's the timeline for it?
I believe our deadline is March 5th.
Was it
to
March
make the
5th?
vote. I'll confirm that with the solicitors tomorrow, and we'll go from there. So,
Thanks.
Sure. Anyone else have any comments at this moment?
Mike?
Okay.
No,
Okay.
you know where I'm at.
All righty. Well, then, seeing none, we'll move on to school finance.
Okay, school finance, 13.1.